What's up, guys? My name is Nara Israelian, and for the past year and a half, I've been living a lie. Yeah, I've been wanting to make this video for a really long time, and in all honesty, I've just been too scared to do so. I've gone through some really big changes in my life recently, and for fear of judgment, I've kind of kept it a little bit of a secret, and I haven't been as open with it as I've wanted to be. I want to apologize to particularly my family, my cousins, and everyone else that I was close to that I haven't, that I've kind of distanced myself from over the past year or so. It was easier for me to avoid talking about things and kind of brushing them to the side and, you know, not getting close, because it just hurts to lie to people you care about. And it's been really painful to not share. The last most of you heard from me, I had graduated UCLA with a degree in business economics, and I started working as a management consultant at the Boston Consulting Group. I was 22, making 6 figures right out of college, flying to major cities, first class every week, staying in fancy hotel suites, and telling CEOs of Fortune 500 companies how to run their companies better. And this was my dream job. I was living my dream. You know, I walked in freshman year, and in my first management class, I said, I'm gonna be a management consultant. Yeah, that sounds really cool. That's what I'm gonna do. 4 years and 5 internships later, I got my dream job at a firm so prestigious, I didn't even ever think I was gonna get an interview at. So I expected to be on top of the world, and I wasn't. Somehow my dream job wasn't actually my dream. And I didn't understand it, you know, to the outside world and everyone talking to me, everyone would tell me, you know, you're living such a cool life. I just felt like I was becoming a less and less interesting person. And I didn't care about anything I was doing. And before I go on, I just want to be clear that I don't want to say anything bad about management consulting or BCG, particularly BCG. I think it is a phenomenal firm, and I am so thankful for all of the opportunities and experiences and people I've met there, because I don't regret that for a second. I wasn't proud of the work that I was doing, and I remember one night I was walking down the street and I called my mom crying, and I was just like, you know, Mom, I've been working for a year and I feel like I have nothing to my name. I feel like I've accomplished nothing, but I've been doing such cool stuff. And it was just, I don't know, it was just like everything that I thought was true was turning out not to be. When you grow up in a foreign family, you're kind of raised to believe that you go to school and you get good grades, and then you go to a good university, and then you get a good job, and life is good, and you accomplish everything you need to, and you're going to be happy. And I wasn't happy. I spent the majority of the summer of 2016 really depressed, trying to get a grasp on my life. The way I like to put it is that I think we're all born with like a metaphorical pair of glasses that we put on when we're born. And throughout our lives, you know, we get dirt and debris thrown on it from, you know, our parents, our friends, our peers, school, society, media, the internet, whatever. And, you know, by the time we're older, we have all this dirt and debris on it that we only see a certain picture of the world. And we just don't know that there's else out there. And it was almost like I had taken my glasses for a second and taken them off, and I wiped them off and I put them back on, clear. And I was seeing the world for the first time. And my thought was just, oh, okay, this is not what I thought it was. Wow, okay. I just had this realization where I was just like, you know, the harder I work, the richer the partner gets. You know, I'm pretty good at math and that just doesn't add up for me. And ever since then, I kind of realized that if I was going to sacrifice and I was going to work really hard, I was going to do it to make my own dreams come true, not somebody else's. Around the beginning of 2017, I officially left BCG and deciding to work on this idea that I had for a real estate financing company. And, you know, not to get too much into it, but basically I was looking at a new way of financing residential real estate. I did some cool stuff with it. I have like regression models in Excel on my computer where I can tell you how, you know, overpriced or underpriced a home should be for the next 15 years in the United States by zip code. I had some data scientists who became partners. I found some corporate real estate people who were really interested in the idea, and I met, and for sake of privacy, I met a very influential person at a very, very powerful secondary mortgage buying institution who was very interested in my idea and was just like, kid, if you can make the risk return match our portfolio, we'll buy your loans. And I was just like, oh, I'm gonna be a billionaire. Whoa. I was spending a lot of time, you know, by myself on Excel, you know, not really getting out much. And I just missed shooting the shit. That was just something I always loved to do. And if I'm being completely honest, was why I became a management consultant. I really thought I was going to be a professional bullshitter until they made me do some actual work on the computer, and it wasn't as fun as I thought. Probably for the best. One of my friends suggested I take an improv class at UCB. Start taking the class, and about 2 weeks in, I remembered how much I loved performing. As a kid, I took like one acting class when I was like 13, and I took theater like freshman year of high school, but it was never like a real thing that I considered because, you know, again, I grew up in a foreign family. I had 3 choices of career growing up: doctor, lawyer, disgrace to family. I was already in C already, but, you know, still it was better than an actor. It just wasn't a real thing. But since I was in this period of, you know, really trying to figure out who I was and, you know, just taking bigger risks in my life, I figured, you know what, maybe you do love acting. You know, this is just another rock that you should turn over. I just won't leave myself curious. I'll just do it, and I won't love it, and we'll move on with my life. And so last year, on my birthday actually, I decided to give myself the gift of doing what I always wanted to do with my life. And I took my first acting class. About 2 weeks in, I was so head over heels in love that I cared more about doing my scene well for class that only like 5 people saw than I did on the startup that I was spending 60 hours a week working on. That was gonna make me $1 billion. And I couldn't help it, you know? For a good 3 years, I didn't care about anything. Like literally nothing. And all of a sudden, I cared again. I thought I was gone. And finally I was back again. I realized that I really did love acting, a lot. And so I decided that, you know, I was just going to act part-time while I did my startup. about a month into class, I realized that I loved acting so much that I didn't want to do it part-time. I wanted it all. And I want to take acting as far as it will allow me to. I knew I had to make a decision. Because if I, tried to split my time between this really intensive startup and acting at the level that I wanted to get to, two things that would both require all of my mind, body, and soul to achieve, I was going to fail at both. And I reached probably the most important crossroad of my adult life at that moment. And I surprisingly answered it with a really simple question. If I hypothetically spent 3 years, busted my ass, and failed at my startup, would I regret it? Yeah, because I was doing it for the money. If I spent 3 years, busted my ass, and failed at acting, would I regret it? No. There isn't any shred of doubt in my gut that says you would regret this decision for a second. And that was the greatest moment of clarity I've ever had in my life. I closed up shop in my startup and I enrolled into an acting intensive at Leslie Kahn Studios out in Hollywood, where I still am today. For the first few months, I just had my head down, doing the work, taking acting classes. I'm in voice and breath class, singing lessons, improv, just doing all of these things to get up to speed. I didn't want to start auditioning or doing anything until I was sure that I could go into a room and make a good first impression. I have started auditioning in the past few months and it's been going, I'd say thankfully, really well. I don't have an agent or manager yet, but I've just been self-submitting and getting 3 to 4 auditions a week. I have booked and filmed a few short films now and a couple web series, and I've also started writing and creating my own content, which has been a lot of fun, and I plan on, posting more on YouTube, and I just want to share as much as you guys want to hear. I'll probably share more than you want to hear if I'm being completely honest with you. You can just ignore it if you want, that's totally fine. But yeah, I just wanted to share all of this with you and, and say that since I've started acting, I have never worked harder, been more challenged, or had to face more fears than I've ever had to in my life. But at the same time, I've never been happier, more motivated, and more fulfilled by anything. So I just wanted to create this video to, in the words of the great Jay-Z, reintroduce myself and open the dialogue between us. Because I know that, I'm not the first and I'm not the last person to question what they're doing with their life. And if my experiences can help one person feel less scared to go forth and live the life that they want to live, I would just be so incredibly happy to have helped. And I just wish there was somebody who I could talk to about the fear that comes with all of this. The fear, the anxiety, the judgment, the self-doubt that comes with all of this. And the constant question of, am I doing the right thing? Will I fail? What will people think of me? What will my old peers think of me? Because, you know, while I have had support, I have had people who have definitely judged me for pursuing acting after prestigious business or whatever that is. And I think that's dumb. And I want you to know that you're not alone. And I'm here with you, and I just want everybody to feel the joy that I feel. With all of that, I just want to say thank you guys for listening, for understanding, or at least trying to understand. I want to say thank you to my friends who have just shown me so much love and support, and have surprised me with the level of support that they have shown me, and I can't express my appreciation enough. And finally, but most importantly, I'd like to thank my mom and dad, who have, in spite of all their fears, have been patient with me, and have allowed me to do this. Mom and Dad, you have worked so hard and have given up so much for me and my brother. And I know you've had so many dreams for me, and I'm sure it's been really scary, because everything that you have helped me build too, I have made the decision to destroy, and start over. And I can't tell you how much this means to me, because you've done just so much for me in my life, but really letting me do what I've wanted to do with my life is the greatest gift you could have ever given me. So thank you. And I promise you, I'm gonna make you proud. I'm really gonna make you proud. So I'd like to leave you all with a quote by F. Scott Fitzgerald, who managed to say all of this more eloquently and more concisely than I was able to. For what it's worth, it's never too late, or in my case, too early to be whoever you want to be. Stop whenever you want. There is no time limit. You can change or stay the same. There are no rules to this thing. We can make the best of it or the worst of it. I hope you make the best of it. I hope you see things that startle you. I hope you feel things you've never felt before. I hope you meet people with a different point of view. I hope you live a life you're proud of. And if you find that you're not, I hope you have the courage to start all over again. Thank you.